Okay, yeah, so today's character is going to be Bowser Jr. Um, yeah, kind of moves a little fast on the ground. Obviously, you can increase your ground speed by hitting slide special and then approaching, although you do have a bit of in-lag where you cancel the, little car, so you can put up all the tires, but you can also just jump, and that cancels it a lot faster than if you just pull back like that. So if you do pull back, you can still do damage, whereas if you jump, you can just do an aerial, which is actually a little bit better in some scenarios, but sometimes you might just want to approach using the car only and then just turn to make sure you don't drive yourself off the edge like this. Although most of the time it will cancel if you do that. And then for jump height, it's a decent jump height. Obviously your up special can send you a little bit further than that, but it will leave you open to attack, as you don't really have much to defend yourself. You can kind of only defend yourself from in front of you, so but you can't really cover above you or underneath you, so people can just attack you from those angles, and you'll actually take a bit more damage, because Bowser Jr., I believe, still takes a bit more damage on his body than if he gets hit in the car. If he gets hit in the car, then he takes a little bit less damage. I know that was a thing in Smash 4, but I haven't tested it enough in Ultimate to be able to see if that's still a thing. But yeah, so any win box is just gonna push you off the side for free, pretty much, and then any character that hits you can also push you off the side. And sometimes your up special doesn't come back, and then sometimes it does as well. So, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started into moveset. So for dash attack, I mean, it's a decent dash attack. You get a multi-hit if you hit it early, but if you hit it later, you do get a bit of space. You still can get multiple hits, but it's a bit safer to throw out if you do it earlier, because you don't have to worry about as much in-lag if someone shields it. Can still lead into an edge guard, and can still do a bit of damage, even if you don't hit all of the hits, but it's not a great dash attack, I would say. Like, it just kind of sets up at an angle to edge guard, but it's not going to, like, kill very early or anything like that. Like, Ganondorf's dash attack kills Falcon at, like, 110 or something like that, whereas with Bowser Jr. it might not kill until, like, 130, 140, which still isn't really bad, but yeah, it's not even going to kill there, actually, so it's going to kill much later. Which it looks like it would kind of launch at an angle that it would kill, but it just kind of sets it for edge guards because it's got very little knockback. Or at least very little change in its knockback. With your jab, though, your jab is one of the best in the game, actually. It does a decent amount of damage, and it can also get a lot of multi-hits very easily. I believe it kills at 130, actually. It's a ledge. But yeah, as you can see, you can get a lot of hits on it compared to most characters. And yeah, it does kill at 130 as a ledge, though. One of the better jabs. I think Robin still has the best jab in the game, though, with the gentleman jab of Robin killing at like 100, but it's still a pretty good jab, regardless, because it can still get a kill. And then, yeah, we've also got your tilts, which gonna have a little bit limited range, but they are pretty fast. Like, up tilt's really good for starting juggles, actually, as it just doesn't really have that much knockback to it, which means that it's just going to do a pretty consistent knockback, so you can build up a lot of damage really quickly. Obviously, with up tilt, you do have a pretty limited range. You can pretty much only land up tilt if someone lands on top of you, or if you just run up to someone and are right next to them. As you can see, Falcon's hand kind of lean forward because its idle animation brings them forward a bit, but you do have limited range with the fort. Same thing with forward tilt, it does have limited range, but it's really good for kind of just spacing yourself. If you think someone's getting a bit too close, you can hit them with a fork, and it can be angled in different directions. It doesn't really do that much damage. I mean, I can kind of see it create tech chasing on, like, mid-percents, like 50% to, like, 30% maybe. It can create tech chases, and then it can also just knock people off stage to edge guard them. Though I don't really see it killing that early. Probably won't kill until about 130, 150. Let's do 140. Yeah, it's just not even gonna kill there, so. Although it does have a tipper, so maybe the tipper kills there. Yeah, the tipper's not even gonna kill there, so. It's just kind of a weak forward tilt, but it's still good at, just getting people away from you. Down tilt is also kind of good at that, although it is a multi-hit. It doesn't really send that far back, so it's not the best at doing that. But it can just be used to hit people who have been shielding a lot and their shield's pretty low, and you can kind of just poke their shield with down tilt because it hits that low. And then I believe it also can 2-frame, but I haven't really tested Bowser Jr.'s 2 frames. But yeah, that's going to be it for tilts. Then we can move on to your smash attacks. We've got up smash, which is actually a really good out of shield option because it's just really fast. It kind of can lead into an up tilt, but it doesn't exactly combo, or not up tilt, but up air, but it doesn't exactly combo into one. I mean, it can also lead into an up tilt as well, which can combo into an up air, and then you can start juggles. But up smash itself is just really good at knocking people up into the air, which can then be followed up by stuff, but it's not that great at killing unless you're on a platform stage, as it just doesn't have a lot of knockback, which I can kind of show that. Alright, it's gonna kill there, but let me actually turn it down a bit, like 117. Alright, yeah. No, I don't think it killed there, actually. Oh, it did. That can be DI'd, though, for sure. Because this Falcon doesn't have DI on. But yeah, as you can see, it's not killing at like 106. It does kill at about 120, though, I would say for sure it would kill then. But at 100 and whatever, like I think it was at 117, and it still killed. I think you can DI that one for sure. And it not kill? Yeah, even with DI on there, it doesn't even get close. With 106%. Whereas with forward smash, it's going to kill a bit earlier because you do kill off the sides, so. Well, I don't think it's going to be that early. Yeah, that's with pretty much no DI, so it's going to be at about 80% that it's going to kill. For sure. Yeah, and even kills there. So, I would say about 100% to 110% center stage would be its kill area. And then down smash, it can kill, I believe, a bit earlier than forward smash, although it could be the other way around. I know with certain characters, down smash kills a bit faster. Oh yeah, down smash does not kill earlier with Junior. Although it is a bit faster in terms of just release speed. Well, I guess they're both about the same speed. And down smash covers more range, so it's a little bit better in terms of just like trying to predict where your opponent's going to go and covering that option. Because if you just forward smash in one direction, then obviously you can still be hit from behind, but if you down smash, you kind of cover if someone jumps behind you. And then up smash is kind of good for catching people jumping or catching them landing on you. Although up air might be a bit better, as up air kind of can combo and juggle. But I guess, yeah, speaking of up air, you can see if you hit on the back hit of up air, it doesn't really have that much knockback, so then you can combo into it a bit easier. But this Falcon keeps getting at a weird angle out of an up throw. So yeah, up airs are just mainly used for juggling like that. So you can kind of get a combo out of up tilt, up air, but I mean, it's not a very consistent combo, and certain characters can jump out of it. Like I believe Shulk would be able to dial storage out of it. Or I guess it is true, so maybe not. But at earlier percents is not true. But yeah, the hammer is just mainly used for juggling. Like it can kill off the top in certain scenarios, but it's just not going to kill off the top very early, as it doesn't have that much knockback. With back air, it's going to be really good for just edge guarding off stage, as it kills a lot faster than forward air does. Although both are pretty good. Forward air kind of just launches a bit closer, so you can maybe get a down air out of it. But you can see forward air is not going to do as much knockback or damage as back air. Although back air is stale now, and I also hit the sour spot. The sweet spot is obviously on the cannonball, but you can still hit it if you're a little bit too close to your opponent, and it just won't do that much stuff, like right there. So you do want to make sure that you kind of have it spaced out, so that way you can get a kill with it. Same thing with forward air though, although forward air is a bit faster, and a bit safer to throw out. Neutral air is probably the safest aerial to throw out though. It's one of your better aerials for approaching. Like, what I like to do is I like to do neutral air out of this little cart, because it kind of can combo out. Like that. Although you can also land fair. And you'll get a bit more damage out. But neutral air is a little bit safer to throw out in case you mess up. Or your opponent just like jumps out of the way and you're not ready for it. Because if you delay it by a bit, then you will miss. Like that. Although with neutral air you can kind of cover that. And then you can also do that with back air. If you delay it. So yeah, it's kind of at a weird spot. So yeah, keep doing it a bit early. There we go. So I got it that time. So it does a bit more damage if you do back air, but forward air is a bit easier to do, and it doesn't do that much more damage if you do forward air. But you can also do like up air if your opponent's at a high enough percent for it. So yeah, let's actually go back on stage here, and then for down air, it's decent for landing, I would say. It kind of has a bit of ending lag though. It's kind of like Link's sword plant, where you gotta get the drill out of the ground, although it's a bit faster than Link's down air. It kind of spikes, although not really. Like if you hit the final hit, you will send outwards, but if you don't hit the final hit, like I did in there, then you'll keep pushing opponents downwards, although it doesn't have that much knockback to it, so it doesn't really spike that well. With your specials, you've got neutral special, which is gonna be pretty bad actually. Like I guess it's decent if you fully charge it, but if you just don't charge it at all, it doesn't really travel that far and not even that fast. I kind of just use it if I'm landing on someone like that, because most of the time they'll expect you to like land with an aerial, so they might put up their shield, and then when they realize they're going for the cannonball, they'll probably like drop it to try to grab. But the cannonball is still gonna come out fast enough if you just tap B, which is all I'm doing here. But if you hold it down a bit too much, then you might still be able to get grabbed. Although you can jump higher to hold it for longer. But if you tap it, it works a little bit better. But yeah, if you do hold it down, it can be used to kill. Like, it's got a decent amount of knockback and damage, but it's still pretty slow, even when fully charged. Like, this is it fully charged. And your slide special just moves so much faster, so it's a little bit better for approaching. But yeah, as you can see there, if you kind of turn around on your side special, you can kind of get the second hit of your junior card as well. Or, not junior card, but clown car as well. So, you kind of have to do it pretty quickly though. Like, I kind of am starting to hold as soon as I get that first hit, although doing it a bit late. And that time it was early. There we go. So it does really inconsistent damage, I think, because it does have like a sweet spot and a sour spot that you're hitting. So that's sour spot there, but if you hit sweet spot, it does a bit more damage. That was sweet spot, I believe, is what's happening there. But yeah, side special is a really good like kill move. It's got a bit of super armor on it, and you can kind of just use it to get into opponents that are trying to camp you out pretty quickly. You can just jump out of it if you don't want to have this long turnaround animation of canceling it, but you can't shield cancel it. So you can't just run to someone and then throw out your shield. You kind of have to do an action, unless you want to do something like and then fast fall into a shield, which is a decent option, but still not going to be that great. I did just drop a few frames, I believe, although don't know why I did. So I'm kind of hoping that that fixes soon. But yeah, I think it's over, so. But yeah, slide special. It's a decent move for approaching. Like, it is risky to throw out if you are right next to your opponent. So if Bowser Jr. is here, and his slide special gets shielded, then it's really easy to punish, or if it gets parried, but it's still not bad. Just to approach and then cancel early, unless you can land because your opponent's like throwing projectiles, and so then you can kind of jump over them and then approach. But yeah, with down special you do summon this little Mecha Koopa, and it's really good for combos actually, because a lot of people can just try to avoid it, and you can just land it very easily if they shield it, because then you can just run up and pick it up. So yeah, I'm actually just gonna throw it here and then grab it. So it is a projectile that you can throw. It does have 2 hits as well, which is kind of weird. But it's kind of just them hitting your opponent and then them exploding as well. But yeah, if you hold it for too long, it will explode in your hands. Same thing if it lays on the ground for too long, then it will just explode. Although, if it lays on the ground and it turns red like it's going to explode, you can still grab it and that will reset the timer. which is kind of weird. I don't think that's something that should happen, but it still does. Like, it's definitely something that helps out Bowser Jr., because that just means that he has a longer time that he can kind of keep people away from it and then grab it on his own. But it doesn't really make that much sense for it to try it, or about to be exploding and then just not explode. But it does have a decent amount of range before it will turn red, and whenever it does turn red, it just stops in its tracks. And then with up special, you got Clown Car that you can send to explode. It's a decent way to edgeguard people. It's definitely one of the more predictable ways, as a lot of Bowser Jr.'s will just throw it out there. But if your opponent lands on like the left side of it, then it will just send them into the stage in that example. Although if they land on the right side of it over here, then it will also send them into the stage. It does have an attack that you can do, which is just a little hammer. Though it's not that great. It has pretty limited range, and it doesn't really have that much knockback. Especially if you hit the sour spot, like I keep doing, which I'll try to sweet spot here. Although I was facing the wrong way for the sweet spot, but that time it was sweet spot. So, yeah, it does a decent amount of damage, but it's still just not really that great. With your throws, you've got up throw, kind of decent combo into up air, because you can kind of just start juggling with it, but it does launch at a pretty weird angle, so it's mostly used to land back, or at least that's what I use it for. And then you can kind of get an edge guard out of it, but just up throw in general is not that great for killing, because it will kill off the top, so you won't be able to juggle someone off the top most likely as Junior, but you still can on, like, I think you would be able to on Battlefield, but that'd probably be the only stage, as it just doesn't offer that much knockback from the up airs. And then forward throw, it can kill at certain percents, but it's not going to be as good as back throw for killing. I believe that is the right order, so let me just turn it up to 100 to see. Because Bowser Jr. might be backwards. Okay, so that's back throw. So yeah, I would say back throw. It does a bit more knockback, actually. But yeah, your pommel's actually pretty decent as well, because it's kind of fast. But I was trying to do something like this here, in case you were wondering. Which is just a drop off the Mecha Koopa, but I did it way too early. Which is something I forgot to say you can do. And you can also let the cannonball stall far enough so that it lands on people. Although, that was not far enough. So it's going to be like about here. I think you can see it almost fell on top of Captain Falcon there. So, maybe about where this tree is. So yeah, there we go. So it will still do damage even if it does fall. It does the same amount of damage, and if you just, or it does a little bit less the further you are away from someone, but it still does that amount of damage is what I meant. It's not going to do less than that, pretty much. But yeah, for throws continued, we've also got down throw, which I really don't know what the use for down throw is. Like, it doesn't really combo into anything. I guess it can kind of create tech chases, although Bowser Jr. is not really fast enough to be able to approach unless he gets in the clown car, and then you can't really tech chase out of the clown car that well. I was able to there, but if this Captain Falcon was actually on the level 9 CPU, he'd probably just like jump out of the way, and that's just a really easy way to be able to avoid all of the damage from it. But yeah, that should be it for moveset, so now we can actually get into a game, and it's on CPU level 3, so let me go change that. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I got the 23 hit combo out of a rapid jab, in case you're wondering. I didn't get 23 consecutive hits outside of that. But yeah, now we can actually get into a game here, so I'm just gonna reset. I tried to throw that and it landed on the ground, but I B-reversed it. So, I'm gonna try to do a combo there, but yeah, he was at way too low of a percent for that. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him on the ledge with that, and then try to edgeguard. Although I did that way too late, but there wasn't really anything I could do there, because Bowser Jr.'s jump height was just a bit too short. If I could have jumped a bit higher than that, I would have been able to hit him off the ledge with the explosion of the up special. But yeah, I'm going to B-reverse that there, because he's going to try to Falcon Kick. But yeah, I usually play Bowser Jr. pretty aggressively. A lot of people kind of play him passively, but I kind of consider him like Pac-Man, where he's just a rushdown character with a few extra steps. Like, I'll usually send out a Mecha Koopa, every time I want to approach just to try to see how they react to the Mecha Koopa. Like that to me grabbed it, and that option's definitely punishable. You can punish if they shield it all the time, or if they parry it by just like grabbing them, or just running up and waiting for them to parry it and then punishing them out of the parry. I might fire a cannonball every once in a while, but cannonball is really just useless. I mainly use it if I'm trying to edgeguard someone and I don't feel comfortable going off stage, because I'm on like my final stock and they still have 2 stocks or something. And I'm also at a high enough percent. Like if I'm at 120% and I don't really want to edgeguard Captain Falcon because his up special will just be able to kill me if I mess up. But yeah, I'm also just going to throw out a cannonball there to see how he would react if I did throw one out. But yeah, I somehow managed to land on the stage there. That's a really punishable recovery option, because I would land on the stage. I tried to grab the ledge, but I knew that Falcon was going to possibly edgeguard me, but he was just baiting the edgeguard and then stayed on the ledge, but he didn't really punish after he made me jump on stage. But yeah, I don't know why I did down special. I thought that was down special for some reason. Yeah, he definitely called that out. But there wasn't much I could do there. I guess I could maybe recover low, but Falcon can also just stomp. But yeah, really easy air dodge there, because I didn't really set up for that at all. I mean, you can kind of set up for it using Mecha Koopas, but outside of that, you don't really have much set up for it. You just kind of have to hope that your opponent falls into it. But yeah, I knew he was probably going to down smash there, so I'm going to try to grab him. But yeah, I keep doing these up specials at the ledge just in case he does get hit, because if he does get hit, it does a lot of damage and knockback. I don't know if it would kill him at the ledge, but it would definitely get pretty close. It would make it where he wouldn't be able to recover it, at least, so. But yeah, he went for a low recovery there, because I keep recovering high, so I thought I was going to mix it up. But I saw him go low early, so I was able to recover high again. But yeah, this next time I'm probably going to recover low. I tried to land down tilt, I think, but I might have done forward tilt, because I did see a fork, I believe. But yeah, I'm going to approach with the car here and then kind of back off just to see if he was going to jump. Because if he would have jumped and air dodged out of the way, then I would have been able to hit him with the back air. Yeah, as you can see, if he just runs up in shields, then I kind of have to jump as soon as I run into his shield, and then maybe I can read what he's going to do. But yeah, his knee actually has a lot of range now. Because I got hit on like the hair from his knee. But yeah, I definitely lost that stock really early. I threw out the cannonball just in case I thought he was going to edgeguard me, but I let go of it way too early. But yeah, I'm going to throw out a Mecha Koopa if I can touch the ground, because I don't want to throw out one in the air unless I'm like in the middle of the stage like that. But yeah, I caught it, and then I'm just going to throw it because it's going to explode in a second. But yeah, that's a really easy way to set up for Mecha Koopa theirs when they're at the ledge, because you can kind of cover a bit of their options, because it will also just run away, so then you can kind of stay at the ledge while it's going back towards where they roll. And then if you stay at the ledge, you can cover so many options, compared to if you just sit where they're going to roll. And then with Bowser Jr., you can even cover roll from the ledge, because you can just slide special. But yeah, that's going to be the game there. I figured he was going to throw out some sort of defensive option there, so I might as well just throw out a forward smash, but he air dodged, and it kind of just worked out. So yeah, that's going to be the game there, I guess. So let me just reset here, so that way I can take screenshots for the taunt, I guess. For these up now. So yeah, now I'm going to set up for the next one, which is going to be